I get it. You're exhausted. You've been putting so many hours into the thing that you want, spending so much time trying to do things your own way, trying to get things done on your own timing, trying to rush the process because maybe you're seeing a friend, maybe you're seeing somebody online living that life that you want to live. Maybe they're 2 years younger than you, right? And you're trying to rush the process. You're trying to force an outcome that is not ready to be formed. And I know exactly what that feels like, right? I went through a season where I was doing everything I thought I was supposed to do. I was creating content, I was building my business, working the long hours, 10 to 12 hour shifts on my own business, and constantly thinking, what do I got to do next? But the harder that I try to control the outcome, the more frustrated, anxious, and burnt out that I became. You see, the thing is, everything changed when I stopped asking God, how can I force this to work? And started asking, God, where are you trying to lead me towards? Right? What do you need me to do? Whether you need me to rest, whether you need me to do less work, right? Eventually that shift in my own mindset helped me build a personal brand that now generates over 30K a month. It only happened when I started surrendering my business to God, right? I wouldn't be able to get this growth in this quick amount of time if it wasn't for God. Now in this video, I'm going to show you why trying too hard can actually block your own blessing, and the biblical difference between working hard and forcing an outcome, and practical steps that you can use every day to surrender control without becoming passive. Now don't get it twisted. When I mean surrender to God, I don't mean be lazy, right? There's a difference between somebody who's lazy and somebody who's genuinely just trying to force an outcome. And the difference is between responsibility versus control, right? Responsibility says I'm going to do the work that God puts in front of me, and control says I need everything to happen my way, according to my plan and according to my timeline. Responsibility produces discipline, while control produces anxiety. So when you're thinking, what am I operating from? Think about the feelings that you get when you're making action steps, right? Am I feeling anxious because I'm not getting this fast enough? Or am I in control? Am I actually surrendering my thing? Am I putting in work and surrendering at the same time? One has calm and one has anxiety. That's the quickest way to know the difference between what you're operating from. You see, responsibility focuses on obedience, while control is obsessed with outcomes. You see, in Proverbs 3 verse 5, it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Now, it doesn't say you need to understand everything. Your responsibility is to drive the boat, but you need to learn how to let God steer. Like, you still got to put in the work, right? You still got to wake up early, right? You still got to have these good habits and disciplines, but the outcome is all decided by God. Now, I'm going to give you guys an amazing story from the Bible that has been something that I've learned lately on my walk. And it's the biblical story about Peter's catch, right? When he went into the water and he got that miraculous catch, right? When the nets were filled with so much fish that it was literally bursting. So Peter and the other fishermen, right? They went out to go fishing, and mind you, these guys are actual like fishermen. Like, they know the waters, they know the timing, they know everything. And despite their knowledge and effort, when they went out and they went fishing, they worked all night, they caught nothing. Then Jesus told Peter, put out into deep water and let the nets down for a catch. Peter responded, we worked all night, haven't caught a single thing, right? Because you say so, I will let this down. So basically, Peter was obedient to Jesus. He said, on your command, I will let these nets down. Don't let that go over your head. There is deep meaning behind that. And Peter have tried everything that he's known, right? His experience told him like this isn't going to work, right? He was ready to wrap it up, call it a day, and go back home, hit the bay. And his exhaustion told him to let's try another day. Maybe the waters aren't so good so far. When Peter stopped leaning on his own understanding and said, I'm gonna put these nets down when you tell me to, Jesus. And when he let his net down on his command, the moment he picked up that net, bro, there was so much fish that the nets were literally breaking. After Jesus gave him direction, Peter still had to take the action, but what he did was surrender on Jesus's timing. That's the whole difference. A lot of us are trying to work on our own understanding. A lot of us are leaning on our own understanding. When we feel like we gotta give up, right? Jesus is like, go one more, go do another one, right? You're about to hit your breakthrough. If you stop now, you're gonna lose it all, right? That little voice in your head that tells you to keep going. You need to learn how to not lean on your own understanding. Your flesh will tell you to quit so many times. Your flesh will tell you to fall into temptation. Your flesh will literally try to destroy you from your blessings, right? That's why Jesus, like, it's in the Bible. He said to not lean on your own understanding, because you block your own blessings. But the moment that you surrender, the moment that you fully trust in God, the moment that you are obedient to his word and his command, is when the blessings finally come and they overflow. When you start to surrender. So sometimes you don't even need to work harder. Sometimes you need to listen more closely. And the truth is, I've experienced this in my business as well, right? There was a period where I was trying to control everything. I was like, yo, I'm gonna make this amount at this time. I thought I was gonna make a certain amount at this time, and obviously I didn't hit that, which is why I don't put a time frame on anything. I see where I want to go, and I become the character that I need to be to acquire this goal, because I realized that everything's on God's timing. But before I realized that everything was on my control, I can get this at this time, right? It was always me, ego, right? And ego destroys blessings. And the truth is, the more harder that I worked, I learned that internally I was operating from fear, right? Fear of missing out on the opportunity, fear of not getting what I'm supposed to get, fear of not getting the blessing that I was supposed to receive. During this moment, I was placing all the weight on myself, right? I thought everything was in my control. Everything was in my hands, right? The more work that I put in, the more outcome that I'll get. And the moment all of that kind of went downhill is when I realized, yo, God, this is really your business. Like, forget me. Every result that I've gained, every achievement and milestone that I've had was from you. When I realized that God was the one who actually gave me the vision, right, the ability and the opportunity in this first place, eventually I just knew I had to surrender the whole business to God, right? Everything that I do, everything that I own is yours, right? I surrender everything to you. My business, my finances, my health, my wisdom, everything, it belongs to you, God. And eventually, the more I started leaning not on my own understanding and started giving everything to the Lord and said, God, I don't have the wisdom for this right now, but I pray that you're going to give me the wisdom to help this client. I pray that you're going to give me the wisdom to operate this business. All of these times, every time that I've dealt with a learning curve, I knew that the only way that I can get through this is if I ask for wisdom, right? If I come from a place of humility and ask God, because he will give you the answers. He says, ask and you shall receive. Whether it's an answer from him, whether it's an answer from somebody that meets you in real time, right? God always works in mysterious ways. So now I'm going to be talking about why trying too hard could actually block you. In Psalm 127 verse 2, it says, in vain you rise early and stay up late, toiling for food to eat, for he grants sleep to those he loves. Now, this verse isn't condemning hard work. It's warning us about anxious striving. What if I told you that you trying so hard is literally killing all your blessings? God told you to wake up, right, and operate it from a place of abundance. Like, it'll come to me when it comes, right? Put in the work, but it'll come. That type of mindset shift in itself shows on a spiritual and energetic level that you aren't afraid of losing anything. You believe that whatever is meant for you will come. The truth is, God doesn't care about what you're building. He cares about who you become while you're building the thing, right? The character is everything. The fruit of the business is everything. If you're building a profitable business, but the fruit is bad, the clients aren't getting the results, you're getting money on the outside, but like internally you don't feel fulfilled, you're not changing people's lives, and you generally feel drained showing up every day to your business, then you're walking in a calling that maybe isn't aligned to your mission. So here are 5 ways to surrender control daily that is going to help you, and that has helped me time and time again. So number 1 is to pray before you plan. Most people try to come up with the entire plan, then ask God to bless it. I want you to reverse the order, right? Before you plan your day, before you create content, ask God, what do you want me to prioritize today? Right? This is why I wake up earlier, because I honestly feel like giving your first minutes to God first thing in the morning sets the tone for the day, and it gives you the direction that you need first thing in the morning. And you start to operate from a humility heart posture, which allows you to get the wisdom, get the direction from God during your day. And a simple prayer that you can use starting your day is, Lord, guide my decisions, right? Close the doors that aren't for me and give me the courage to walk through the doors that are, and help me recognize your direction. Help me to not lean on my understanding and only yours only. I submit my ways to you, and I surrender every outcome of this day to you. Having that complete surrender throughout your entire morning, setting the tone for that day, has changed my life in so many ways possible, because now I'm not having anxiety when my next meal is going to come. Now I'm not having anxiety of when my next opportunity is going to come, because I know if I just be obedient, everything will be provided. Now, number 2 is to separate your actions from the outcome. Now, I want you to write down 2 lists. One is the list of everything that you can control. The second list is to write down everything that you can't control, right? Whether it's health, whether it's the amount of money that you make today. I want you to write everything down. Maybe it's the algorithm. I don't know what it is. I want you to work faithfully on the first list, but everything that you cannot control, surrender it to God, right? Whether you're asking for an opportunity, whether you're looking for a relationship, whether you're trying to make a certain amount of income, have the goal in mind, but don't obsess over the things that you cannot control. That's not up to you. So have that list, look at it and be like, yo, God, you gonna take care of this? I'm gonna just do my part. I'm gonna just, work on what I can control, going to the gym, reading my word daily, shaping my character, becoming a better person every single day. And eventually I'll get to this point, but I'm just gonna do what I could do, and I will let you do the rest. Number 3 is to create a surrender routine. At the end of every single day, take at least 5 minutes to release everything that you've been carrying. Ask yourself, what am I trying to control? Why am I afraid to release it? What would trusting God in this situation actually look like? Then pray over this answer, reflect onto it, ponder onto it. God will literally, you have all the answers within you, but you need to ask. Ask and you shall receive. And the truth is, you may need to do this repeatedly. Surrender is not one dramatic decision. You need to consciously set the intention every morning to actually surrender, or else you're just going throughout your day. Be intentional with everything that you do. That's when you'll actually see real changes in your life, right? That's one thing that I truly live by, is like being intentional with everything that I do, right? I'm making this video because I know I'm gonna help certain people out there with this content, and that's the intent that I'm trying to put out. 4, stop forcing closed doors, okay? Now, this is a problem that I dealt with so many different times, time and time after again. I used to think that, maybe a closed door, maybe an opportunity, or maybe this person attacked from the enemy. The truth is, every time a door was closed, I realized in the future that it was just a protection, right? It was a protection in the future, because if I was to be around this person's presence, if I was to be in this opportunity I got denied from, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I wouldn't be the person that is locked in my faith. I wouldn't be the person who has been, locked in with my content, my business. Doors were closed. I didn't see it in the present time, but now I do. There's a verse in the Bible and it says, you will not understand what I'm doing now, but you'll understand it later. That's how God works, right? You'll never know exactly what's happening in a moment. You may be going through some traumatic event. Maybe you lost your job, right? But you don't know why it's happening, but you'll realize that like God has just been doing it for your favor. He needed you to leave that job. He needed you to leave that environment. Maybe he needed you to leave that country, the hometown, so that you can become the man that you need to be to fulfill his purpose. So don't think that every little issue in your life is against you. Ultimately, it's a form of redirection, right? Or protection. And lastly, is number 5 is to practice obedience without needing immediate proof. People want the instant gratification. They want to do something and see the reward right after, right? But the reward isn't a tangible result. The reward is the character that you build through the obedience. The more obedient that you are to God, the more fruit that you actually bear. It's just like going to the gym. When you get first in the gym, it's gonna be painful, right? You're becoming somebody that you're not used to. You're getting in the gym, you're training, you're stretching the muscles out. You don't know why. You're not gonna see results right away. But I bet you if you stay in the gym for a year, 2 years, right? You're gonna look back and be like, damn, God, this is what you've been doing? No, I didn't see this was gonna happen, but now I can take off my shirt. I look good. I feel healthy. I'm active. I'm in the best shape of my life because I did those daily habits, because I stuck to the daily discipline. If you want to see more blessings from God, you need to practice obedience daily. The more that you walk in obedience, the more that God will reward you. Matthew 6:33, it says, "Seek first his kingdom and righteousness, and all these things will be given unto you." So stop chasing the blessing while ignoring the one who gives it. So last thing I'm gonna say is just seek God first, right? Build with integrity, serve people well, remain disciplined, and trust him with the results. That's all you have to do. It doesn't get any simpler than that. It's to put in the work, trust in God, don't force the outcomes, trust his timing, and you'll see the fruit in due time. All great things don't grow overnight. It takes time to grow. It takes time to nurture. It takes time to learn, right? All these different things, you need to be able to grow with it, with the seed that God has implanted within your mind. Nothing blossoms overnight. So before you leave this video, comment one area of your life that you need to surrender to the Lord. This could be in your business, finance, relationships, future, health problems, right? Timelines, anything. I want you to leave that down below. And if this video has helped you, make sure you subscribe. You're going to see more content on faith, discipline, business, right? Building your content, personal brand. I'm moving to Bali in about a week and a half from now, so you guys will be seeing the behind the scenes lifestyle and everything. So I'm super excited for that. Make sure you guys stay tuned. And also, if you're an online coach or business owner struggling to hit your first 10K month and you want to live a life more on your terms, right, being able to work anywhere in the world, then you can click the link down below to, scale it with your own personal brand. Apply to work one-on-one with me, and I'll be reaching back to you as soon as I can. And lastly, remember, your responsibility is obedience. The outcome belongs to God. Y'all stay blessed. Have a great day. It's your boy Jalen. We signing out.